Hello everyone, this is Cacti and Carnivores here, and welcome to another plant log. This is the plant log of the 16th of September, and some stuff has happened, and some kind of big things. Nothing huge or massive, but just some cool stuff. And before we get into everything real quick, I just want to show you that our Christmas, the big white Christmas cactus has put out a flower for no particular reason. Usually they flower during the winter, but this one just decided to throw one out. And it's a nice flower. It's got a... Hold on, focus. The camera likes to not do what it's supposed to do, pretty much. Is that getting anything? I doubt it is. Yeah, it's not really showing up too well, but from what you can make of it, it's got kind of a nice look to it. Usually when these flowers come out during the winter, they're purple, kind of a purpley tint, and I've heard that Christmas cacti, white ones at least, tend to get a purple tint on their flowers when it gets colder or below 70 degrees instead of it just being around 75 or 70, and so I often see kind of a purplish tint, but here it's just sort of a white, and I'm guessing that's because it's throwing out flowers in sort of at a warmer time, not during the winter. I'm guessing it got cooler, and it just decided to throw one out. There's also some dust on the leaves. That's a thing about growing Christmas cacti and other plants like these indoors, where they hold onto their previous foliage. That old foliage gets dust on them, and they have to, and it prohibits chlorophyll sunlight absorption to a little bit. So you got to clean them, and it's a bit of a pain. But yeah, that's the big Christmas cacti. All the other ones doing pretty well, doing their thing. Some of the growth has gotten kind of thin, like here, really thin. And I've tried to water consistently. Sometimes they get a little dried out, but what can you do? And yeah, this one's doing pretty fine. This one just threw out a leaf that looks just like a real Christmas cacti. These are all Thanksgiving cacti. They have sort of the sharper leaves, you can see right here, instead of the more rounded leaves, but these just this looks rounded. Might be a weird mutation of some sort. Or maybe this one genetically is kind of off. Its flowers do look a lot different than a normal Christmas cacti. So, or Thanksgiving in this case, so it must be kind of weird. Yeah, they're all doing good. This one's got kind of a cool habit. All of these leaves, when they grow up, they fall over. This one fell over the other way. That's kind of cool. So yeah, those are all my Christmas cacti. Then Penthes is doing good. I didn't really realize that it's this big picture. Hold on, this is always a pain because all the leaves and everything. There we go. I never realized that the pitcher would get this really, really dark red peristome. Right when it opened, it had a peristome that looked like this one, except a bit more flared, and with the red stripey. Now it's just completely red. I don't even know what the hell happened to it. Yeah, this is the older pitcher. This is the newest one. And another one's coming out right here. It's swelling. Down here too. Wait, hold on. Yeah. I don't. For some reason, this was an older sort of. This leaf was thrown out before this one opened, and instead of developing, all the other pitchers are continuing. So, I'm guessing this one is gonna just die back, which isn't a bad thing, really. God, this is a bit of a pain. The leaves, the tendrils are also hanging down a bit further than I'd like them to, so I'm gonna have to put this thing up on a higher little stool of some sort. I don't know. The sundew seeds I've almost given up hope on. They are not doing anything, and they're getting all gross and disgusting. You can see a little hint of green around them if you look real close, but usually it's just nothing. And I don't think I want to use sphagnum moss in the future for sowing seeds, because I've heard that it doesn't get as gross as peat does when it's put in a high humidity, low air circulation environment, but dear God, I don't know. I might just want to like wash some peat and use it for seedlings. So yeah, there's that. Venus flytrap cutting. You probably have noticed. That I've moved this light. This light used to be over near the sphagnum moss. Now I'm using it for the Venus flytrap. That is because I don't think this thing is getting enough light. It's very pale green. It's exploded in growth, but it's just not like not a single hint of red on this thing. So I'm planning on like using the grow light to give it some supplemental light. They are pretty much an outdoor plant. The reason I don't have them outdoors is because smaller plants can be a bit sensitive to the heat, and in the summer where I live, it got up to 103 degrees for like weeks on end every afternoon. So yeah, I'm not putting like any plant that isn't an adult out there at all. I don't even keep my adult plants out in like open sun. The ones I've had just burn away or like don't do too well, so I have to keep them in shade. But yeah, these are pretty much all the plants right now on this windowsill, and they're doing pretty good. So let's check up on the sphagnum. Alright, so the sphagnum moss, something's kind of weird. Something weird's kind of happening to it. This moss right here is getting kind of pale. I don't know if it's dying from heat or lack of sunlight. This stuff over here isn't doing much, so it may be a moisture problem. I'll have to look into that, but so far it's doing okay. I don't think the sunlight was doing much, so with the artificial light, so I'm going to move it over. That's why I moved it over to the Venus flytrap cutting. So there's the sphagnum. Alright, so outside the backyard, everything's doing kind of nice. And the cacti, I think I moved them together a bit closer. Yeah, I don't quite remember. I missed a week to water them, just sort of schoolwork. Never really got a good chance to water them. Usually I water them every Monday, but I skipped last Monday, so they are a little wrinkled. Just a bit, though. I mean, they're cacti, so it's not like they're gonna die or anything. Usually they won't like be affected. They'll just kind of, or like health-wise, they'll just kind of grow weird. This one hasn't shown any real anything. Oh, and this one has gotten a flower. 2 of them, in fact. Yeah, it's gonna be. This one seems to flower really easily for me, and they're looking nice. Little things. All doing nice, doing well. And so yeah, my cacti just sort of slow but sure growers. And yeah, those are those. So my carnivorous plants, the ones outdoors. So those Walmart typicals I had, I ended up repotting them, and I would have recorded. See, you can see them right here. I would have recorded it, but I was recording it and too much stuff went on. Too much stuff was happening. Neighbors' dogs were little idiots and just started barking like crazy. It took way too long. It was a pain, and so in the future, if I'm gonna do any repottings, I won't do a straight like half-hour video. of it. I'll either do a time lapse or just a little like overview of everything, like every little step in the way. So that's pretty much it about the repotting. I would have recorded it the way I did, but I couldn't. Yeah, you can hear them right now. They're freaking nuts. But you can see a lot of spider webs though. My Sarracenia is doing well. Sundew in here is putting out new leaves. There's one in here. It's kind of hard to see. It's right in there. And it's doing well. This whole pot's pretty nice. The reason I repotted them, basically they were drying out multiple times. There were like 2 times they got wilted, and usually when a Venus flytrap dries out and wilts, then like all their foliage or most of it that's wilted will die back, and it'll start putting out new stuff, and it kind of throws it into a little stress for a quick minute. And that was happening too much, and they were like the only plants outside that were not showing any improvement. This plant's been doing nice. This one hasn't though. So I decided to repot it. I know it's not a good time to repot these right now, but you know, might as well just do it, get it over with. I was trying to wait until next winter or next spring, but I couldn't wait. But these are doing marginally better. I don't know what's up with that one. It might be like pest damage. They just do not like. It's kind of frustrating, to be honest. They get sunlight too. Like I don't know. Might be pest. This one's gotten a pretty good trap on it for its history of growing. Got some color, a little bit of dew or nectar on it. You can't see it, of course, because my camera kind of sucks, but yeah, they're doing pretty good. And I moved 2 of them over yonder. Hold on a minute. I moved two of them up here. This is the maroon monster, which is doing quite well. It's caught some stuff. New plants, new traps being put out. It's doing some shorter, smaller growth, but it's doing pretty well. No real like deformation or deformities. This one is just a little experiment plant to go with it. This one seems to be a bit more hardy than the other plants, and this one seems like this one's just a test plant, so I'm putting it here to see if it will do well out here. It's kind of warm. It's cooled down significantly, and that's why I'm planning on moving all my plants up here if these ones do well. So these ones are kind of pioneers. See if like a Walmart, sorry about that, Walmart typical can do well. And this one, which is hardier than usual, can do pretty well. So those are pretty much all my plants outside, and they're doing pretty nice. And goodbye.